Good morning, Brian.
Hey, good morning to you, Dano.
So, big news for the radio show, Brian. I wanted to bring you on as so that I can make this announcement.
Okay, what are you dragging me into?
Me too, Brian.
It's actually kind of cool. Barrett Media has named Nashville's Morning News as the third best morning show in the country.
Yes.
Wow.
Mid-top 20
We're
markets.
number 3. We try harder.
That's exactly right. You know what? You never want to be number one because at some point...
They shoot at you there.
It's exactly right. So, and Brian, I think that the reason why I got number one was because of my cool sound effect regarding our computer here in the station, where they're going to rebuild it.
You know, when I was in television news, they had a saying about never hacking off your makeup artist.
Yes, I bet.
Because, you know, makeup artists can make you look good, make you look bad on television. And then there was also this thing about never upset your camera people because, you know, they can take flattering pictures of you or they can take unflattering pictures of you. So I'm always of the belief that one should never, ever tangle with one's IT department.
I'm not tangling with them. I'm saying instead of we don't need a new one, Brian.
Yeah.
They're going to build one bigger,
faster,
better, faster, stronger. It's all good.
All right.
I just like that sound effect.
You're not overusing that sound effect at all. It's not annoying anybody.
Well, listen, if you want to have sound effect wars, I got a box here. I can come after
No. You're the master of sound effects, Brian.
What the heck?
Brian's got a big machine that he actually. You know what? There we go. Hey, throw down a BS for me with the cow thing.
Oh, right here.
All right, moving right along.
All right.
All right, very good. So thank you to the folks at Barrett Media and
that's really quite an honor, Dan, and congratulations. All kidding aside.
Well, and it's a testament to the hard work of Joan and Sam. I'm just along for the ride. Now,
yeah, that's right.
Let's see here. Let's talk about the El Paso airport being closed for 10 days. This is crazy.
This is bizarre.
Talked a lot about this in the 5. So
this is something that you just don't see every day. I mean, in America, we just don't go and say to a city, "We're shutting down your airport for 10 days." That's just almost unheard of. And so, I mean, you begin, and then what's really strange is they don't give you any explanation. It's just like, we did this and deal with it, and no explanation, no details. So, you know, that's a good mystery for a reporter to dig on. The thing that it probably has something to do with is nearby Fort Bliss, which is the second largest base in the country. And I just found this by doing a little Google research. Because of the mountainous or desert terrain, Fort Bliss makes a perfect training location for units deploying to the Middle East.
Oh.
Iran.
In Iran,
The Fort Bliss Training Center is part of the largest DoD-controlled airspace in the world and can accommodate every weapon system in the U.S. Army. So if they're testing some weapons systems out there with regard to what might happen in Iran or some other part of the world we haven't thought of, they might not want commercial aircraft anywhere near that. And that's one idea. So I think that's probably the most likely idea, but still, you're taking a town that 700,000 people, and of course the people who come over from Juarez who fly out of El Paso. Yep, that's a lot of people. I mean, it's 1 million people in that area, easy, and you're shutting down their airport, just saying no. And understand, it's not like, you know, if you're in Dallas, you go to another airport nearby. You go to Love Field, or, you know, if Love Field is closed, you go someplace else. In El Paso, the nearest airport is 266 miles away, and that would be Albuquerque. 284 miles to Odessa, 321 miles to El Paso, to Tucson. And that's what brings up my really oddball theory. Mm-hmm. Tucson. Remember when they said that they could return Nancy Guthrie within 4 hours?
Yeah.
El Paso is about 4 hours and 40 minutes from Tucson.
I was wondering about that.
You know, I thought about that too, actually.
It's an oddball idea, but who knows? Maybe they had some inside information that whoever had Nancy Guthrie was going to try to depart out of the El Paso area. I don't know if that's true or not. It's something that at least crossed my mind. The most likely thing has something to do with Fort Bliss, but I got to tell you, damn strange and really unusual. I don't think you can find another example of this anywhere in the country in the history of the United States.
You know, I was going to ask that. I mean, is there precedent for this? And do you think that we'll ever find out what happened?
We may eventually find out, but you know, when they just drop it like that and say, this is it, deal with it, and we're not going to say another word. You know, usually, you know, somebody will leak out a little information. Well, this is what it's really all about. I'm not hearing that, and I'm not reading that anywhere. I can't find anybody who has some kind of inside information about what this is all about. It's just like, we're shutting down the airport. Yeah. So sorry. Deal with it.
I'm reading some people have thought maybe it's some sort of GPS jamming training or something like that. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it as you said, it is a mystery. You mentioned Nancy Guthrie, by the way.
Yeah.
Don't want to be a Danny Downer, but I don't know. What do you think? Is she still alive?
Well, I don't know. It's you know, the longer it goes, the worse those chances are. Just if you look at the history of these kinds of things. And by the way, there's not a lot of history because this is a very unusual case. I'm not sure that any of the ransom stuff was real. I really don't. I think it's sad to say it, but I think in this country today, there are just a class of people, and they are the lowest of the lowest, who would take advantage of another family's misery and concern at a time like this and try to profit from it. And I just, my sense of it is that they have never known with 100% certainty that it was a real thing. And I think at the end of the day, it probably wasn't.
So why would they take her? Like, because I know what you're saying. I just don't.
It's very strange. It's very strange. But I'll tell you, those pictures yesterday, everybody was talking about what caught their attention from the picture of this suspect. First of all, amazing that they were able to get those images out of the camera. You know, it takes a while apparently to do that when you don't have a subscription. But one of the things that caught my attention immediately is the very unusual device that the individual had in his or her, some people say her, mouth. It was a flashlight. It's called a bite light.
Yep.
And you put it in your mouth, and if you're like a mechanic and you're working with your hands, then you just put it in your mouth, and wherever you look, it will shine the light when you bite down on the device in your mouth. It's a bite-sized flashlight. Now they have one called an Illumabite, which is pretty sophisticated. And then there's some that are sort of like handout gimme things in a little leather case that when you bite down on it, it would shine a light directly where you're looking. That is just an unusual thing. I don't think many people have ever seen one of those. I know I had never seen one. I just got to looking it up on the internet yesterday. If somebody ordered that piece of equipment, seems like there's probably not many people in the entire Tucson area who would order one of those. Seems like that might be helpful in tracking down who the individual was.
Yeah, you're right, and obviously prayers go out to the family. There's all kinds of debates as to whether or not this was maybe a drug cartel, or who knows. So hopefully,
yeah, it's just bizarre. I mean, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And you know, my theory about when things don't make sense, there's some fact that you don't have in evidence,
right?
And that's true with the closing of the El Paso airport and this case out in Tucson. It's something that we just don't understand about all this that would make it come in to make sense. There's got to be some sensical reason for this, but so far it just eludes us, and it's. I think that they're holding back a lot of information that they have not yet shared with the general public.
Well, and earlier we're talking about there's been a lot of failures within the investigation. Local sheriff's office. We ran down some of those in one of the previous hours.
It's Jim Crow 2.0.
Yeah, that's what Chuck Schumer says. I got to tell you, Brian. It is so ridiculous when you look at the polling and you see the amount of people, including how many black folks are out there supporting the SAVE Act. And you've got Chuck Schumer and others within the Democrat Party saying that this is a Jim Crow 2.0. Just so you know, a couple of days ago, we actually went through some of what happened during the Jim Crow days and what it is that the Republicans want to do with the SAVE Act. Obviously, there's no comparison.
No, listen. I'll tell you, the SAVE Act really is gonna come before the Senate, but it seems as if there's a lot of people out there who have been talking about doing away with the filibuster in the Senate in order to pass this particular piece of legislation. I'm hopelessly old-fashioned about this. I believe in the filibuster. I think the filibuster has real merit, and you always want to protect the interests of the minority in the United States Senate, and that's the way you do it. The problem is that really when they say we're going to have a filibuster, it's really it's the threat of a filibuster is usually enough to shut things down. Oh, we're gonna threaten a filibuster. Well, you know what? It may be if you said okay. The floor is yours. Have at it. We'll see you in a few weeks, Maybe if you actually force people's hands and said, well, if you're going to threaten it, you're going to have to do it. You might have a more powerful tool there. But one way or the other, I know people will yell at me, it's time to do away with the filibuster. I've seen examples of when they did away with, the filibuster on certain things like judicial nominations. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it worked out well for us, but it didn't work out well for the guy who first proposed it, right. Harry Reid. He ended up with a 6-3 conservative majority in the Supreme Court. It can go against you. It worked out for us in that particular instance, but sooner or later, Republicans will be in the minority in the United States Senate, and what's good for the goose is good for the gander, and I think that there is merit in having a filibuster. I say, let's have a filibuster. Let's actually force people to do a talking, standing from the well of the Senate filibuster, and let's see how much of that nonsense survives.
Yeah, and the question will always be, Brian, and I know that you know this, if we don't, then will they? And if they do, then they'll put in policies that essentially would guarantee their power for, some say generations to come.
Here's what I think about it. I think if a vote came down to get rid of the filibuster, it wouldn't be able to come up with enough votes, because I think there are many people within the Senate who understand what I'm talking about, the need to protect the rights of the minority. They have seen it work for them. They've seen it work against them, at times. And I think that they generally sense that it is one way that you prevent the majority from just running roughshod over the minority, and that's what it's there for. But it, I don't know. I know there's no percentage in actually being somebody who supports the quaint old notion of a filibuster. But I just think what has really happened to the filibuster is that we've refused to actually force the filibuster.
Yeah, no, you bring up a great point.
Yeah, and let's force it. Let's make them stand in the well and deliver. That'll last for, in a worst case scenario, a week?
Yeah.
And then sooner or later you can move off dead center and actually cast a ballot on the matter at hand. So I don't know. Again, no percentage in me defending the filibuster, but I've sort of always liked the filibuster and thought that it had a purpose if only they would actually force people to do it.
By the way, just news out of El Paso. CNN is reporting El Paso flight restrictions from a source, CNN. El Paso flight restrictions come after military could not guarantee the safety of civilian flights, at least according to CNN. So that is what they're reporting right now.
Well, that sort of falls into this whole thing about, a large training area, just with the largest DOD-controlled airspace in the world, and they can accommodate every weapon system. They're testing something out there that I'm pretty sure has to do with what's going on with Iran, and they don't want to have any, collateral damage in the form of a Southwest 737.
By the way, also some big news, Brian, here in Middle Tennessee out of Watertown. From what I understand, this weekend is one Brian Wilson's birthday.
No, somebody let you in on that little secret? Yeah.
Listen, no, I protect my sources, Brian.
He wanted to sing to you, Brian. Go ahead. Dan, go ahead.
That's not going to happen.
I'll
never get above number 3 on the Barrett Media list of top morning shows if I sing.
Now listen, I'll tell you, number 3 is great. That's a very good showing, Dan, and you should be very pleased about that. Moving on.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. Very good. We got like a minute left. Anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, except that this the wailing and the gnashing of teeth and everybody trying to put lipstick on the pig with regard to NES. It was a disastrous result, a disastrous effort on behalf of NES. They didn't plan well. They have some real questions that need to be answered. And I think, quite frankly, you're right. I heard what you said. I think that we need to talk to our leadership in this town about, how they could not affect more change and that whole thing that was going down, and did they react in a proper way? I'll tell you, this was just it is also true, and I'll give this to the people in NES. This was one hell of a bad storm. It was a bad one, but I think they could have done a lot better if they had been trimming the trees, if they had been, doing everything that they could to keep the canopy in shape, and if they had, just brought on more people in the very beginning. They seemed to be caught very flat-footed by this, and when everybody knew there was going to be a problem, they seemed to be going, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Well, if you're waiting around to see if there's going to be a problem, it's too late.
Yeah. All right. Brian, as always, thanks for joining us here on Super Talk 99.7. We'll talk to you next Wednesday, same time. You'll be a year older.
Yes, and another year deeper in debt, as they say.
And we'll talk to you then unless news warrants.
All right.
All right, man. See you. Joan, I don't think he liked the fact that I brought up his birthday. There was like an icy chill that came down the line when I brought up the fact that
Well, I mean, it's a good thing you didn't ask him how old he is now.
Okay, that was Joan that said that.
Just, if you asked him
I know how old he is.
Maybe he was anticipating you asking that question.
And that's why he said moving on.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Listen.
You could have sang for him. I'm just saying.
No, that's okay.
I've actually heard Sam sing. Sam can sing.
Yeah.
So you should have done it, Sam.
Okay. Well,
I do a Sinatra style happy birthday.
Okay. How about let's not sing on the radio if we're a talk station. Thank you, Sam. Though I very much appreciate that.
I didn't say I was gonna do it. I just said it's in my repertoire.
You know what you can do, Sam? If you want to sing for folks, why don't you go sing for the folks on the YouTube chat?
Oh, yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Because, during the commercial breaks, they have nothing to do and nothing to look at.
They do get very bored.
I know. Well,
except for correcting the grammar in our Stake of the Union graphic.
Yeah, no, I understand. You know what? Here's what I want you to do.
Oh, there's a mistake?
There was.
What did somebody write?
It was, mistake. It was order Ute tickets instead of your tickets.
I started getting first thing in the morning. I started getting hammered by people on the super text line. Hey, can you fix the grammar on the Stake of the Union thing?
I did not create this graphic or upload it, so that is on the party that was responsible.
We have no gatekeepers here.
No, and we sure need some. You folks know how much I love station events, and I really do. People always think that I'm being facetious when I say that, but I actually do. Love station events. And Joan, this weekend, I am going to be out at the Southern Home and Garden Expo in Wilson County at the fairgrounds. I'm going to be out there from 9:30 to noon, hanging out with my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. I do this every year. Have been doing this every year for a long time. Love meeting you folks. So if you want to come on out, say hello. Southern Home and Garden Expo at the fairgrounds, Wilson County, and I'll be there from 9:30 to 12 on Valentine's Day. It's on the 14th? Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Every year.
Sounds like a great place where you could buy some flowers.
Yeah.
I could. I try to walk through the Southern Home and Garden Expo with blinders on because there's so many things that I want to spend my money on there. And none of them I can afford. But that's okay.
If you had a garden, you know what you could call it?
What?
Dan Plantis.
Have you been thinking about that for a while?
No, it just came to me instantly.
Okay.
Dan Plantis. Okay, good. Moving right along. There is. I want to play a piece of audio, and she's talking about Democrats. This is a woman, Representative Lisa McClain. Now she is a Republican, and she's going after the Democrats because clearly the Democrats have been siding with illegal aliens for a long time. And so we all know the story. I feel like we know, but she really lays it on the line when she starts talking about states and cities that are sanctuary cities and which side the Democrats are aligning themselves with. She goes absolutely nuclear. Representative Lisa McClain.
DHS has pulled an illegal alien out of Zeeland, Michigan, convicted of sexually exploiting a minor. This guy. This is who the protesters and the Democrats are defending.
Yeah, she's holding a picture of a guy who did these abhorrent things. Stop me when you've heard this before.
An illegal who is here, who has been convicted, I might say, of sexually exploiting a minor. I don't know why you all aren't angry about that.
You know, she brings up such a great point because she's talking to the media. I'm angry about it. Joan and Sam are angry about it. Why doesn't the media, number one, why don't they have more honest reporting as to who it is that DHS is picking up and who it is that the Democrats are protecting? I mean, I know that we've all heard this before. I know that we've all talked about it, but she does bring up a great point when she looks directly at the media and she says, why are you not angrier?
I'll share with you. It is unfathomable to me. In Grand Rapids, they got a guy convicted of larceny and sexual assault. In Ypsilanti, Jackson, in Detroit, in Holland, Pontiac, DHS found deported illegal aliens committed of homicide.
There you go. Again, the Democrats align themselves with the wrong side and the media aligns themselves with the wrong side as well.
Murder. These folks are monsters. And you have Democrats that are advocating for them to get released back into your communities. Why aren't you reporting and why aren't more people outraged?
We are. Republicans are. You know what I always say, right? What you're outraged over defines you. And I'm outraged over this. You get all the Democrats and the protesters out there, and what are they outraged over? Are they outraged over the fact that local authorities are releasing murderers and rapists and people that do horrible things to children into their community? No. They're outraged over ICE.
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
I got to share with you. I don't get it.
Nope.
These folks are monsters.
Yep.
They're criminals. They murder. They sexually assault young women, minors. And you know what the Democrats want to do? Let's release them into your communities. And let's celebrate the criminals. Let's villainize the ICE agents and celebrate the people who are raping your children.
I mean, I'm laughing just because, do you know, it gets so exasperating. Every day, every stinking day, we talk about these stories. We talk about the horrible things that have happened across our country at the hands of illegal aliens. And we don't share outrage. There's no bipartisan outrage except for one guy on the Democrat side, John Fetterman, is the only guy that seems to be outraged over some of the things that we as Republicans are all outraged over. But you know what? It's not always just about illegal aliens. Y'all know that we talk about, and I talk about, soft on crime judges a lot because that is also a big part of the problem. We have, and Joan, you're not going to believe this, we have a case so horrifying and so insidious out of Louisville, Kentucky, that it bears a spotlight. I don't know if you heard this, but it is horrifying.
A Louisville man was found guilty last week of kidnapping, robbing, and sodomizing a woman.
A jury recommended a 65-year prison sentence, but the judge in the case cut that time in half. WDRB's Dalton Godby tells us it brought a spotlight of scrutiny, not just on this decision, but other orders in this same court.
Now, what's crazy, and I want you to listen to this. You have a judge, and you just heard what the guy did. Horrible, horrible story. The guy comes into the courtroom. The bad guy comes into the courtroom. Christopher Thompson, and he says some vile things to the judge.
Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Christopher Thompson.
Within seconds of Christopher Thompson's sentencing hearing.
Before we even get appearances, Mr. Thompson, I'm going to need you to be respectful.
I ain't doing nothing.
Did you hear what he said?
That goes by so fast. What did he say?
He said, I ain't doing nothing.
And you can eat my beep.
Oh, my gosh.
But wait, there's more.
He insulted Jefferson County Judge Tracy Davis.
Well, it's fine. Okay?
What?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing.
Spit on y'all,
at the end of the day.
You just heard.
What did he say?
He said, if I could spit on y'all, I would. So
and
far.
This is the guy.
And this is the guy. The judge eventually cuts his 60-year prison sentence in half.
I'm the one with the pen.
I don't care.
I know you don't.
Yeah.
And it's a sad, sad scenario.
I ain't tripping.
So you just told me eat your and you called me a sucker twice.
The disruptions continued throughout the entire hearing.
I mean, isn't accountability a thing? And so this guy clearly has not learned anything from the time that he's already spent in jail.
Yeah, so he was, apparently the incident in question happened, he was about 18 or 19. He's 24 now at the time of sentencing, so it's been some years. You'd think he would have learned some manners, but you would also think the judge would have the respect for herself to actually stand up for, you get to set the standard in your own courtroom.
Right. And clearly...
She does not respect her own self.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
It's pathetic.
But it doesn't stop.
Thompson was convicted in December of robbery, kidnapping, sodomy, and sexual abuse. In 2023, the 24-year-old abducted a woman, robbed her, and sodomized her twice.
I don't have sympathy for nobody.
Come in here.
You hear what he said? I don't have sympathy for anybody.
Man, I don't have sympathy for you, the victim's
we don't need
family.
your
I don't
sympathy.
care.
It's fine. But if you...
During sentencing, the prosecutor asked the judge to uphold the jury's 65-year recommendation. But Judge Davis explained she would lower that sentence to just 30 years.
So this dude is how old?
24.
24. He'll be 54 when he gets out. In other words, I'm 58, right? So this guy's going to be perfectly capable of doing these kinds of crimes again.
Well, and here's the crazy part is he didn't just do this once. He kidnaps this woman at gunpoint, sodomizes her, sexually assaults her. Then he takes her to an ATM, makes her cash out, robs her. Then he puts the gun back on her and sexually assaults her a second time.
Oh, my gosh.
But remember, he has no sympathy for the victims, the family.
Oh, my gosh.
None of these folks.
As Thompson repeatedly interrupted.
I don't care. I don't care.
Unfortunately, he fell through the cracks and ended up before this court as an 18 or 19-year-old. This court does not believe that Mr. Thompson, if given the resources that he can get while incarcerated, is beyond being rehabilitated.
Sexual predatory offense.
Now, just days later, city leaders are outraged by the decision.
Where is the concern for the victim?
I mean, they're absolutely right. And part of the issue here is this judge, Tracy Davis. She's got a reputation for letting guys like Christopher Thompson off easy.
Do we think she's going to get over this in 30 years?
Metro Council's Minority Caucus, which has vouched for more judicial transparency, pointed out Monday that Judge Davis has granted shock probation in dozens of cases since 2023.
My next step is to request for all of her shock probation cases to have the public learn about who she is releasing from the sentences that are given to them.
I mean, obviously people would be horrified if people actually paid attention. This is what frustrates me, is that you see things like this and you wish people actually did pay attention. You wish that people would be more horrified and angrier and outraged, just like that audio that we played from that Representative Lisa McClain going nuclear on not only Democrats, but also the media for seemingly siding with really, really bad people. And now here we have a judge in Louisville doing the same thing. And so my question would be this. I don't know if they've got talk radio in Louisville. They must. Are the talk show hosts in Louisville calling out this Judge Tracy Davis for giving people like Christopher Thompson shorter jail terms? Because if they're not, they should be, and they're falling down on the job. Because this is horrifying.
You want to hear who endorsed her when she ran for office?
Who's that?
The Louisville Showing Up for Racial Justice, a progressive racial justice group that endorsed her as part of a slate of focused on bail reform, equity, and ending cash bail.
Oh, it's all that.
Committee for Fairness and Individual Rights, which is an LGBTQ plus rights and fairness advocacy group that endorsed her, Greater Louisville Central Labor Council, Better Schools Kentucky, and Tamika Palmer, the mother of one Breonna Taylor.
There you go. Unbelievable.
Just a slate of lunacy behind her.
Yeah, and my question would be, so she's a judge. She's clearly a soft on crime judge. So, and she was running, it's an elected office. So I would be curious if she is one of these, did George Soros give her some money, that kind of a thing. That's always going to be part of my question is, who donates to these people? Like who actually hears these kinds of things and says, oh yeah, I would like to have my money stand behind that. But we just heard all of those. It's the usual groups that have the word justice in their name, all of that kind of crap.
Well, and this unfortunately was kind of an easy flip. The incumbent Mary Shaw was the judge who signed the no-knock warrant in the Breonna Taylor shooting. And so this is more manipulation of the masses. I think it's less on the funding and just how easily it is to convince dumb people to support something because it sounds good.
Yeah. And so this guy is going to be younger than me when he eventually gets out. Do you think he'll be rehabilitated in 30 years?
Absolutely not.
No, he's going to be even worse of a monster than he already is.